Hi guys and welcome back. Next week is Inktober. Have you guys decided whether you're participating or not yet? And if you are, what are you going to do this year for Inktober? So last week I talked about the supplies I generally use for Inktober and some other tools that I have that could also be fun to use for Inktober. And the week before that I talked about how you can finish the challenge. So if you haven't seen those videos yet, go check it out. Hopefully there's something in there you'll find useful. And like I said in my videos before, that this week I am going to tell you what I decided to do for Inktober, and I'm also going to show you a little bit, and towards the end of the video I'm gonna try out some of these inks and tools and figure out what's working, what's not working. Like I said, I haven't tried this masking fluid before, so I'm just gonna try that out, see how that's working out. Okay, so first let's start with what I am going to do this year. So this is my little journal, and here I just noted down some ideas of what I could possibly do. So I first thought I would do like a series of portraits. I've never done portraits in ink before, so I thought that would be a really good challenge for me. But it would have been a fun challenge, except it didn't sound as fun. Like, I think if I was to do 10 portraits, I think that would have been fine, or like a limited number, but 31s just sounded like a bit too boring and kind of repetitive, so I decided not to do that. I also then considered probably doing 10 portraits and then maybe 10 animal portraits and then maybe 10 of something else. But I don't know, it wasn't that exciting. And then I thought I could just do a story of my own. So that's where this comes into the picture. So this is a very simple story, and when I wrote this story, it was just more about the visuals than it was about the actual story. I didn't have a lot of time to kind of perfect it, have all those typical story arcs, etc. So it's a very simple story, and I'm not going to tell you the whole story, obviously, but it revolves around a bunny and all the adventures the bunny has. And so when I decided with the story, when I first started out, what I did was I just kind of wrote whatever came to my mind about what kind of adventures the bunny could have. And then, if you see, like here in this sticky note, I just wrote he buys some supplies. Now, what I like to do at this stage is just kind of figure out what I'm gonna do in the 31 days and figure out the details later. So first, when you have the main events that happen in the story, then it's easier to fill in the details and kind of come up with more ideas for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like 29 of these illustrations. Some of them are going to be fairly detailed, some of them are going to be a little simpler. And what I'm going to do the first day is I'm going to first introduce my character, talk about who the character is and what the character likes to do and why he decides to do what he decides to do. And the last day, what I'm going to do is have a cover designed for this book. So at the end of the whole 31 days, it's gonna be like a full concrete project of a book. Now that I'm saying that aloud, and the more I work on it, I feel like it's crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I don't know, I'm nervous, but I'm also excited. Like, if I can do this, it'll be like a big achievement. I don't expect each of my paintings to be absolutely perfect at any cost, but it'll be interesting because I'll be doing one of these illustrations each week, and like last year, I'm hoping that as I do an illustration every day, I get better towards the end. That's what happened with my landscape, so it's gonna be fun. I have never done entire illustration in ink before, so fingers crossed, we'll see. Okay, so what I first started with was designing, just sketching out some bunnies. What I like to first do is just pick out references for the character I'm designing, and in this case a rabbit, and I just kind of sketched the rabbit in absolute simple shapes as much as I could simplify, and then I go around figuring out what characteristics of the bunny do I want to exaggerate or do I want to limit. And I don't know, this is just one page of ideas. I'm still working on it. None of this is final, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I start with designing a character. So absolute simple shapes, super small thumbnails. You don't want to have big drawings, because as soon as you do that, I think you start to concentrate a lot on the unnecessary details. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out, do I want more of a rounder looking bunny? Do I want larger ears? And I think I do like bunnies with larger ears, and I feel like I can use the ears to kind of show the emotion a little bit more. Like if in some scene the bunny is sad, kind of have his ears drooping. If he's really happy, kind of have them really up, straight up. So I don't know. So this is just me exploring the character. In no way is this final, but hope I should have it done in the next few days. But okay, so what I want to do next is just try out my inks, have kind of have a value study done, so I know what composition is looking better, what kind of lighting is looking better. So this is a very simple scene where this character of mine is walking into a book. So these are the two compositions I'm just gonna try out right now, and yeah, let's start. So I know I want the center bit of the book to be glowing, so this is where I'm gonna use my masking fluid. We'll see how that goes. Okay. I have all my material set up. So all it says to do is that you apply a coat of it wherever you want wherever you don't want the ink on paper, and then peel it off once it's dry. So I guess in this bit it smells really awful, by the way. There has to be a better smelling masking fluid. This is ridiculous. It smells awful. Okay, so since that is glowing, the bunny is also going to have a little bit of a rim light. Okay, I'm also going to do it for the second one. So I just changed the angle in this a little bit. This was, the first one is fairly straight on. So I thought I can try, oops. This is something I have to be careful about. Not smudging. But yeah, so in this one I just wanted to change the angle a little bit and see which one's working better. And now that I look at it, I feel like I would probably, in the final one, shift the bunny a little bit. It's too central. But I'm gonna finish this and then make up my mind about it. So obviously I'm gonna be doing thumbnails for each of the paintings beforehand. So I'm not figuring out all of that on the day of inking. My plan temporarily is, to have all of that ready because I am attempting something I haven't done before, and honestly quite elaborate. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have the drawings ready, and then on the day just have the inking to do. That's my plan so far. Okay, I think that should be good. So I honestly don't know how long this takes to even dry, so we're just gonna wait a little while before I do an ink wash. Okay. What I want to do till then on the side is kind of see how my pens are behaving with this ink. Do they bleed? Do they not bleed? Okay, so I'm just gonna use my dripper here and get some ink. It's been a while that I have done a project that's making me this nervous. This is really kind of out of my comfort zone. So it's exciting, but at the same time, really terrifying. Okay, it seems like, I don't know, it's sticky, but I think that's how it's supposed to be, I guess. Okay, I'm just gonna try the ink wash and we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping to get like a really light wash. Oh, by the way, I taped the borders of this with a Scotch paper tape, just so that it doesn't bleed out and I don't have to be too careful about the edges. I can just concentrate on the main painting. Okay. So since the main center of this painting is going to be glowing, it's going to be a high contrast sort of a painting, so there's going to be like more shades and more value variations for the book and the bunny, but the rest of it is going to be pretty dark for to actually show the whole glowing effect of it. So like most paintings, I'm gonna start with the lightest and then build up the darks. I made the mistake of starting from the right. Well, I'm just gonna have to be a little more careful. Sometimes when you're so used to working digitally, you kind of forget about these small things, and that's why I really like doing Inktober, to get back, to the basics and to kind of remember there's not going to be a Control Z to kind of help you out of this. because bunny is going to be the main focus of the painting. I want the maximum contrast to be on the bunny and the rim light. So that would kind of be the focal point of the painting. So I just waited for a while for this to dry out a little bit. I feel like I should have even waited in the beginning, a little, you know, just so that the ink doesn't kind of blend into the other part. So what I'm going to try to do right now is try to get the masking fluid out. It just says peel off, so I don't know. I'm going to try. Okay, so it did do a good job. I like that. Now what I want to do is kind of go in with my marker a little bit and give a little more definition. So I'm not worrying too much about the details at this point because this is just a thumbnail and I just wanted to establish some values. I may go in and darken the bunny a little bit more and the edges before I start with the marker. So I think the general idea for me, I think when I do the bigger pieces, should be to remember to, you know, let like each step kind of dry out a little bit before I go and you know, try to add more details. And a very clear drawing underneath is also going to be super helpful, because I think when I was putting the masking fluid, etc., I kind of lost my pencil drawings a little bit because I wanted to make sure that I don't have very dark lines, like, but in the process I kind of made it a little too light. And since it's a thumbnail, I'm not really worried, but for the final drawings, I think I would like to, for the final drawings, I'd like to kind of make sure that I have a slightly more detailed drawing. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, slowly build up the values, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll get the masking fluid out and add details with the markers. Okay, it has dried out a bit, and I'm gonna, like this one, just remove the masking fluid and then we'll go from there. I think I rubbed a little bit too hard on that one. The page started to peel a little bit. Didn't happen with this one. It comes off pretty easily. Okay. So that's done, I guess. I'm just gonna use the markers now and add a little bit of detail and see how that feels. I'm hoping it doesn't blot. Oh, it's not. That's good. I feel like I should have left a little more highlight on the bunny. That's what this is about, right? Like figuring out what's working, what's not working. So when you're doing the main piece, that is not when you're figuring all this out. I don't know which one I like more. I feel like this this definitely reads better as a book. Maybe once I have like a more detailed drawing, this might read better too. But I don't know, I feel like this one might work better for what I'm looking for. Let's see. So I'm gonna try and this was just me wanting to experiment with the inks and see you know, what technique is working, what isn't, kind of stuff. So I'm gonna obviously be doing more thumbnails for each of these sorry, I was concentrating on this and forgot to talk. So like I was saying, I'm obviously going to do a lot more thumbnails for each of these and see which angle, which composition reads the best for what I'm looking for. But today was just about seeing how these inks are behaving. And like I said, I've never really worked with inks before, so this was like trial and error. See how to get rid of the masking fluid, how to put it on, whether it does a good job or not. So yeah, I kind of think I have a good idea of how to layer the inks. I'll be doing a lot more practice, obviously. And over the 31 days, let's hope I get better with each painting. Alright. Okay guys, that's it for today. I'm so excited about this project and so terribly nervous too. So let me know what you guys think about the project that I'm doing. If you guys think I'm crazy, please feel free to tell me that. Thank you guys for being here today with me. I hope you enjoyed watching me experiment and figure out my ink work. If you have any tips for me, please mention those in the comments below. And I'm excited about Inktober, and I'm excited to see what you guys do for Inktober. I'll see you all next week. Thank you guys. Bye.